everybody, this is Tim from Mainly Muscle Cars, along with cameraman Ken, who's slightly behind the camera angle here, as always. He's kind of our Stig, you never know who he is. But anyhow, today we're looking at a 67 Mustang Fastback factory GT. A really cool car, and of course it's not factory. If you're after a factory restoration, this is a great car, but it's not for you. It's got a host of improvements to make it a lot better than it ever was from factory. But first we'll start by covering what the car was, and then we'll kind of work into now what the car is. Originally a GT car. A really cool item on this car too is originally this was a metallic gray, which is the only one we've ever seen. It carries a special code on the door tag as well as the Marti report. Very rare color on these. Like I said, we've never seen one. So gray with a black interior, 390 4-speed. A really neat setup. We've got that photoed so you can kind of go over that yourself. But since then, that's what you started out. Now, however, beautiful, beautiful blue paint on it. It's a base clear, done. The body was stripped to bare metal. It has, of course, a couple of improvements. Body-wise, it's got the Shelby rear deck lid, end caps, and a Shelby style hood. Couple items, you know, a little bit different than factory, but very tastefully done. Underneath the hood, they went with some pretty serious improvements. First of all, was a rod and custom rack and pinion setup with a Mustang 2 suspension, so it eliminates the shock towers. It gives you a rack and pinion. You've got some nice suspension geometry. You've got disc brakes that were integrated into that kit. So really good kit as far as driving wise, nice and tight. It has, we've got bees, Ken. So it drives nice. Back behind that, it has, in the rear, there's brand new springs in there. They've upgraded the rear brakes to disc, so you've got 4-wheel power now instead of just front power. See, engine 390. This one has been rebuilt. It's been bored 60. It's got a nice Crowler cam. We've got the specs of that for you in the ad. It has Edelbrock RPM aluminum cylinder heads, RPM aluminum intake manifold. It has a quick fuel carburetor. The thing sounds tremendous. Long tube headers from Stans. Has, of course, side exit exhaust. Really fun sounding car. You know, it's not brutally fast, but it's pretty damn fast. You know, 1-2 shift will definitely bring the rear of the car around, which moves us to tire-wise. So we do have a 325 Yukon in back. That's basically a positive traction setup. Tire-wise, though, to kind of help keep this thing planted, we went with a 285/40 18. So that nice tire. It grips really well. It also looks nice. It fills up that rear wheel well, kind of gives you that nice full look that you want on your muscle car. Up front, we've got a 17/8 with a 235/45 tire. Everything fits really nice. We've had a couple people in the car, haven't had any rubbing of any kind. Car handles really well, even pushing it into the corners. With the help of that 390 having aluminum heads and intake manifold, you're back down to the weight of a small block on the front end of this car, because you've eliminated shock towers, whole top end of the aluminum. You could almost argue that it'd be just a little bit lighter. But behind that 390 is a brand new Tremec TKO transmission, so you have an overdrive 5th gear, a really comfortable 1st gear, so when you're driving, you can kind of pound those shifts. You don't have to worry about hurting the transmission. You get out on the highway, click that thing in 5th, and at 70 miles an hour, you're still under 2,000 RPM. Really good combination for cruising. Body-wise, as I said, it was stripped to bare metal. Paint is nice. It's not a super show quality like World of Wheels, but it's pretty damn nice paint. Panels line up really well. It's got good clean quarter panels on it. Floors are rust-free. Fenders are nice. Hood's nice. So just overall, just a really nice car. Not a brand new, you know, concours restoration, but a nice restoration. Okay, taking her out for a little spin here. Really nice deep bass note to the idle. And in a big block, that's what you're after. It's you don't want that high-pitched whine of a little small block. You kind of want that big deep. You want to feel the motor run. That's what you can do on this one. Right now we have a plethora of camera equipment on the fold down, so sorry if you hear a little bit of stuff bouncing around, but fun thing about big blocks is you really don't have to give them hardly any throttle. They just have just buckets of torque. That also is really helped out by this 5-speed. So you've got a nice, good first gear, gets you out of the hole effortlessly, you know, especially with that much torque. But the motor just sounds tremendous, but it never feels like it's loaded. Just give it a little throttle, just tiny bit of throttle. It accelerates nice. You know, we're in third gear doing 35, and it's comfortable. We're at 2,000 RPM. You know, we'll speed up to, probably get up to about 70 here in the video, but even at 70, it's just kind of loafing along on the freeway. But this is a pretty steep hill, kind of hard to tell in a video, but it just goes right up and it doesn't care. It's awesome. Small block, you know, if this was a 289, even a stout one, we would add to downshift. But very, very cool to have in a big block, especially a pedigreed car with these type of options.